March against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying
Stop the battle!
light. On that day when the sky fell away, our world came to an end. In our eyes did a fading sunrise in the dark, glimmering shadows. Silence grows in the spaces
Are you okay?
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light. On that day, when the sky fell away, our world came to an end. In our eyes stood a fading sunrise in the dark, glimmering shadows, silent
Lucario, Meta Knight.
stretching out beyond.
3, 2, 1, go! No contest.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light. On that day, when the sky fell away, our world came to. An end in our eyes.
Stop the
Did a
battle.
fading sunrise in the dark.
Kazuya.
Glimmering shadows, silent grows.
Kazuya.
Spaces between, stretching out beyond
Meta Knight.
time. Rising up.
3, 2, 1, go!
Leon Mishima wins.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed.
Stop the battle!
Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and
Little
reawaken
Mithra!
the undying light.
Three, two, one, go!
Crow with that!
Greninja.
That day when the sky fell away, our world came to an end. In our eyes did a fading sunrise in the dark, glimmering shadows. Silence grows in the spaces between, stretching out beyond time. Rising up as a chorus of souls finds a voice, flickering through the void. These little sparks cling on to life, everyone caught in this struggle. And then the storms of change, they fan the flames, scattering ashes to the wind. Every soul contains a whisper of light, gleaming faintly as it dwindles from sight. No escape, no greater fate to be made. In the end, the chains of time will not break. Colors weave into a spiral of flame. Distant sparks call to a path still unnamed.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hello everyone, and welcome to the OAL Online High School Circular Sparrow Friendlies here. And that's me, Dylan, joined alongside the group, my friend Kaizo. We got Ben, our almighty eye in the sky, running the clock, keeping the lights on here. Two $20 skins, gift cards on the line here, Kaizo. It's big money and big stakes.
Stakes and we're already underway. We've got a Ninja versus Yoshi matchup here, and Yoshi right manages to get one back in his favor, but a lot of extra credit left on him. We're going to have to battle back if he wants his chance of one of those gift cards.
Now you gotta keep in mind that these folks are all the same team, it's all friendlies, but in the day when it comes down to me being able to buy a battle pass, I no longer have any friends, just mortal enemies. But this Yoshi so far, like you said, having a hard time with defensive play. I think this Greninja's done a really great job pursuing their enemy through the air, and I think that's something that a lot of these high schooler and middle schoolers have a hard time with, is how to maximize when your opponent's in disadvantage. But now he's playing a bit more safe, trying to use some of those egg tosses, but not many are finding the mark.
And I think that is something very key against Yoshi. A little bit more air mobility. You have to be very comfortable in these juggle situations. As you can see, Haas getting back on stage here, finally getting his feet under him, but a good counter there almost sets up for something more. Couldn't quite get the follow-up, but definitely puts him in a comfortable spot.
And now we're seeing that substitute maybe being used a bit too often in a scramble situation. You saw it. Only try to land. It's again, not only are some players uncomfortable with what to do to take advantage of disadvantage, but also some players don't know how to get the heck out of it. See a good clash there. That egg roll, you know, I gotta say, that's another element we're gonna see here with these younger players. Is some unorthodox moves, but that one comes straight from the Yoshi textbook. A nice F smash to read the land.
Yeah, calls him out right there, knew exactly where he was going to end up, and kind of even things back up here. I mean, we're talking about 50%, which is not anything to speak of. It was previously a full 2-stock lead for Cyclondo. Now he is offstage in this juggle situation. Does manage to get the down smash, though, so that will be taking care of things. Credit where it's due to Hess for getting a very good comeback there, but 1 stock shy, unfortunately, and it will be our Greninja who's moving on.
You know, if I were to say that was a 4-stock game, I think the Yoshi started to get the download, maybe just took a bit of time to have it buffer. But then the 10-speed gigabit internet kicks in. They start understanding their Greninja's plays, and I love the edge pressure we were seeing there. Greninja hanging on ledge, deciding how to get up. You see a million forward airs be thrown out there by the Yoshi. You fear the meteor hitbox, so what do? You roll back, and a down air is waiting for you once you do. So that's some great heads-up reading-based plays from the Yoshi. Just needed a bit more time to sink in, some more time to percolate, marinate. Unfortunately, they won't get there, but I'm sure we're going to see them again soon.
Yeah, we'll get another look at them, and we're actually going to get another look at our next set of competitors as well. So it will be our Greninja sticking around in, actually,
Willie!
I thought that we would have seen another Greninja here, but Willie's going to be whipping out the Aegis in short form. Take a look at this. We are climbing that tier list, baby. Going straight for the heavy hitters, D-Lo.
I mean, yeah, this character is ridiculous. So, have a Steve to top it off. No. We're going to have fun? No, projectiles. Never mind. No fun to be had. That being said, Young Link, of course, still got plenty of good options to get up close and personal. And that's another thing, okay? Do you decide, as some of these players that are starting to climb the ranks, understand what it means to be a competitive esports player? Do you optimize? Do you go with maybe those campier strategies? Or do you maybe say, to heck with it, and abandon that, and instead just go up close and personal with some nice sword strikes?
Hey man, I will say, the #1 player in the world, D-Lo, Spargo, did recently lose to a Young Link, so it's not outside the realm of capability, especially with the way that he's played here. Oh my god, he's going all the way up to the top for it.
Yeah, alright, optimization is acquired, and unfortunately, Ira can't even recover back, just stunned in awe. I think she had the up B recovery potential, just maybe was just in shocked silence at how much damage Young Link is outputting. But now on the Mithra, quick options for what is quite a speed demon in terms of this Young Link player. Not quite sure that I believe it actually is Justice, and so far it's raining down. A div best serve gold potentially, but so far they're heating up.
Got a good grab there, and Willie just needs to get his feet under him here. Can't quite find his way in through the projectiles. Does get an F smash there to create some distance, but take a look at this, playing on the opposite side of the stage, trying to find an opening, but there is none to be found, and even goes for the foresight there, but gets caught by the third hit of that up smash. A little bit of a matchup check for you there, and another DI check to go with it.
Every hero spin is going to happen anytime you're above them, and now sent sky high with one more up smash. Justice is feeling great, dishing it out and not taking nary a scratch. 82%, but every engagement is so short-lived from the Mithra that they can't find any killing blows, and if they're going to stick to the Mithra, you really don't have the greatest kill potential either.
Gonna have to potentially swap to the Pyra, but maybe just favoring the movement speed for now, trying to get around this wall of projectiles that are coming out from Justice, especially now that you're getting closer to kill percent on this Young Link. You'd love to set up some kind of edge guard and then go for that final hit. You can see now fishing for some of these kill options, but this up smash is getting so much mileage here.
I mean, sometimes when you go fishing, you're the one who gets baited instead, and you can see it. They're struggling. Desperation is the key word. You want to get off something, right? You want to put yourself on the board, but in those moments where you're reaching a bit, sometimes your own hand gets chopped off instead. Hold on. Good. Light's Edge, they're going to be able to bring Link to that same destination.
There we go.
And a fantastic air dodge read with a smash seals the stop.
Yeah, that F smash is every Mithras player's best friend, and he's going to need 2 more of these based on the way that this is going out at least. Go for another one there, does get grabbed for troubles, and I think nearing one of these kill percents for some of those up airs. I mean, Up's definitely going to do it at 130 from this Young Link, but very close to just dying to one of these throws, D-Lo.
I mean, I'm seeing how young this player is, and I really respect it. They are embodying the character, and they are performing so well on it. They're using their entire toolbox, grabs, up specials, and F smashes to boot, taking a page out of Willie's book and killing him with it.
Very well done gameplay there from the Young Link. You don't often see one who is so willing to get involved with this Young Link. I mean, it's usually a lot more of a flurry of projectiles, but Justice very comfortable getting in there, throwing out some of those up smashes, even using some of those up airs on a juggle situation. I mean, Aegis is not an easy character to juggle, and he made it look like it was very simple to just continue to lay down the pain. So credit where it's due, man. That is a challenging matchup he just overcame.
It's incredible extremely impressive too. I love watching, man, these lower tiers of competition, the players that still have yet to prove themselves on the board, because you get to see the rising talent. You get to see them develop not only as players, not only on the pitch, but also as people. Esports forms the mountain. You got to climb there. You got to struggle with adversity. You have to struggle with perseverance, and you see that all forming here on the stage right now. We see two Shotos stepping up. I thought we were playing Smash. No, Street Fighter back in action.
Let's go Street Fighter versus Tekken, baby. We've got Captain Cheese on the right side of your screen versus Mr. Fighting Game character, who goes straight in for that Tatsumaki and unfortunately does get grabbed by this Kazuya. Can be very deadly. I mean, this is not a matchup where you can just afford to throw out some of those options willy-nilly. He will take 52% for his troubles.
Yeah, Mr. Cheese and Ryu, very known for being lactose intolerant, so this already could be a standby. Make sure you get the Epic 10 and some Lactate on standby. Hold on, these Demon Fists just continuously doing so much to close the distance and also close the deficit in that percent. But right now, not doing too shabby is Ryu using those focus strikes to just kind of eat what would have been a crumble and instead just try to find the counter blow. But that's not finding the mark, and now it seems that Kazuya's understood the assignment. Unfortunately, a roll read is going to get better and by that Ryu and a nice grab to counter.
Try to use that fireball to space out a bit, and oh my goodness, gets him with a fully charged focus punch. What an incredible opportunity there for the Ryu player as he looks to finish off this kill. Tatsumaki Dilu not quite going to be doing it, but I mean, we are getting very close to the point where any of these options are going to be worthwhile if they can just manage to land them. Kazuya is glowing red, trying to get that rage shine, but he actually loses it.
Yeah, Demon Engine no longer ticking. That feels great for the Ryu as they can charge in with a bit more reckless abandon. And a great focus punch into, of course, that sure, you can gonna finish the job. Kazuya, you can see, they're fisting a little bit. That desperation we were talking about before, that shield looking a bit desperate too. You can't go for all those F smashes or Ryu's gonna have the jump.
Do get a clank there, and Ryu just hacking on some extra credit. A great punish straight into the 10-hit combo there from the Kazuya as Danny tries to go for another one of these focus punches. Take a look at this, how much damage he's racking on that move. Trying to go for another juggle on this Kazuya, who can be very vulnerable in the air. Does manage to get his feet under him though, and it's another focus punch.
I mean, listen, 10-hit combos, very flashy. It sounds cool, it looks cool. It doesn't get you the stock. And at 177, that's the only thing you're concerned about. Demon Engine would certainly be overkill, but it might just be necessary. But so far, all the pressure is still being dealt by this Ryu. Look at this, man. He has no fear.
He goes straight up there with the Shoryuken, can't quite find it. Lands directly into the down air from the Kazuya. That
one more.
Right side of the another stun there from the down B. Goes up straight for it with that forward air. I mean, he is just throwing out these options, D-Lo.
It's just not being punished. That's the issue. You have multi-hit moves. It's a great way to get through the focus punch. Kazuya in that category, maybe one of the only that the Mishimas just don't do the best in, but in raw damage output, it's a different story. Slamming him down and sending him up. What a beautiful stock for Danny.
And that is exactly how Kazuya works, man. You can get bullied all game long, but as long as you can land those key hits when you need them, that's all you really care about. Goes for the down throw, can't get the follow-up, but it doesn't matter. He's at least even things back up and even taking the lead here as he throws out some more F smashes, just trying to rack on the percent.
We're seeing some better shield play here from Danny, and I think that's keeping them safe. Sorry, Robert in this case, the Kazuya. I think that's keeping him safe. Danny, in the meantime, now be a bit flustered, and Kazuya, you can see, waiting for the focus punch to end, and then we punish. That's the correct order of operations. That's the PEMDAS you want to see. Nice parry.
Barry almost led directly into a stock there as we get some more fireballs. Almost gets into a 10-hit combo there. And instead, will go off to the right side of the stage. Danny trying to weave his way through these F smashes. I mean, these are going to be lethal if he can connect one.
And what I'm noticing is that this Kazuya player, Robert, really likes to keep their 2 feet planted on terra firma, whereas the Ryu feels a bit more liberal to go up to the sky. Just, whoa! Hadouken combo after a fully charged focus punch. Was not quite aware that's added to Rio's combo tree, but I'll be taking notes.
Yeah, you're going to need to, especially with the way that these players are playing. Running up smash there won't get the job done. Tatsumaki will send Danny off the stage once more. It's going to be both of these players fishing for options at kill percent. Either one could get a good uppercut to the chin and do the job. It's going to be the jab off stage. Kazuya in disadvantage once more.
Nice get up attack to get you some space. I mean, already Ryu's gotten the kill once before. They want to keep him alive for perfect humiliation. Danny, you absolute monster. And you'll be paying for that with a "This is Sparta" kick. And it's going to be Kazi all day. Good job, Robert.
Yeah, man. Listen, some of those inputs are not easy for those Shoto characters. You can see both of our players have a great time with that one. They are definitely on the same page with how that one went through. And I love the energy in this room right now, D-Lo. You can see everybody that gets up on this stage very happy to play, not only getting the chance to play against some of their fellow classmates, but also get to demonstrate what they've got and show off some of these skills that they've got as well.
Clearly, it's very high up there. I mean, like you said, the inputs by no means very easy to make sure they do so well with, especially up against another fellow Shoto character, especially up against Mr. Cheese himself. That being said, there's some unfortunate combo drops there from Danny that might have resulted in their demise, but at the end of the day, it's a game. You're here to have fun, and we can certainly see writ on their faces clear as day, those bright smiles. And hopefully we're going to see more of those extending for many miles as we hop into the next game here. I also have seen the stage set has been a bit different than the comp that I'm normally used to. That I believe that was what? Lilat that we saw prior. And that is a bit atypical, so I'm curious to see what other wacky stages we got in store.
There are still some tournaments that use Lilat as a league stage. It's not very often that you get to see it. I mean, it's usually the same rotation of your Pokemon Stadium 2, Battlefield, Final Destination, Smashville, but sometimes people are willing to mix things up, get a little bit of additional stage presence from something like the Lilat. It is definitely one of my favorite stages just to look at. I mean, the background is beautiful. It's not actually too suffocating with some of these background effects as you can get from like the Sephiroth stage is like just overwhelming to look at sometimes. I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I want to see D-Lo. I gotta know what's going on.
Yeah, sometimes you get a bit lost in the background plot, the B plot, where you're supposed to be trying to, we're bashing skulls. We're playing Smash Bros. Here, and now we're about to be getting right back into it. Do I see a Little Mac Miria on this character up against a Meta Knight?
Wow.
It's what everyone maligned as the worst character of Smash 4 up against the heyday of Brawl's terror.
This is, if you're a Little Mac in this matchup, you've got to have nerves of steel because you cannot afford to be sent off stage more than like probably once or twice in this matchup, especially if you're going to be finding your way back to any sort of standing where you can get some aggressive positioning. And Mireya, does manage to find his way into the air. Little Mac not usually favored to be leaving the ground, but he's hopping around, he's having a great time, and unfortunately does get launched here, but a great down smash. You gotta be very excitable if you're playing this Little Mac in this matchup, and it looks like he is exactly that.
Yoshi's Island's gonna be a really interesting stage because that Jolt Haymaker, that means on the edges that are slanted slightly downward, it might just go over the head of our short stack friend, the Meta Knight. That grants a bit more of an advantage, as if Meta Knight needed any more in this matchup, but it does help him out just a bit more. KO Punch, though, not gonna help you one bit. Smacks that mask off right clean out of their head. Nice stop there by Miria.
You thought that this would have been a challenging matchup. Miria says, no, I have so much experience in this matchup. Gets the double up tilt combo into the up B. That's great damage for him. Just needs to get a little bit more if he wants to. Bro, somebody help out my man Little Mac. What is going on? You should not be countering that move and still getting hit by it.
Multi-hit up smash just gonna do the job because unfortunately it was too high up when they countered, so the hitbox didn't collide with Metal Knight one bit, just collides with the edge of that blade instead. Nonetheless, 40% of extra credit still built up. Meta Knight, not the lightest character, not the heaviest either, and I got to make sure that Miria, we saw how that counter did not do you any favors prior. You can't use it as a crutch.
Zathan trying to fight his way back onto the stage here. Miria gets him with the though, catches him with that anti-air style attack and manages to land that stock. Miria's playing red hot right now.
Yeah, this is actually incredibly impressive Little Mac play. Clearly, Peanut is their hero, and for good reason. Little Mac can be optimized. It's a very scary character to deal with because typically you think, oh, it's Little Mac, send him off stage. Okay, but what about a Little Mac who knows how to recover? What about a Little Mac who's got another KO punch waiting when you get back onto stage? Unfortunately, it just barely misses the mark.
And stuff of nightmares too, when they just let the KO punch rip. I mean, you're typically looking for like an up tilt or a down tilt or something, but when you don't know exactly when they're going to be throwing that one out, that can make you very uncomfortable. And another anti-air from the side B, another taunt here, Miria feeling himself.
Oh, one more Jolt Haymaker could have finished the job, but instead it's the swift right hook to the jaw, and Meta Knight gets cracked once again. Beautiful work there by Miria. Chewing gum, blowing bubbles, and popped just like we saw Meta Knight get right in their chin.
It should have been a Jigglypuff and pop the shield to go along with it, but a different round ball does fall to the Little Mac, and I do think that this is one of those times where you just have to appreciate how well this player knew this matchup. I mean, this can be a very disconcerting thing to stare down if you're a Little Mac player. You have to be willing to be comfortable in the uncomfortable situations, and Miria definitely knew the matchup, understood what the assignment was, and kept his feet under him as often as possible. Very impressive stuff there.
Especially coming from, again, it's a Little Mac. We gotta give our flowers where they're due. Mr. Cheese makes their re-entrance back to the field, and not Miria this time around. Different player, also different character as well. Not quite sure who's bearing the title, but Ness is going to be joining the battle.
And Ness against Kazuya is a matchup you don't see a whole lot of. I mean, it's really only a couple of representatives, at least at the top level, playing this Ness. I'm thinking, I think Syrup still plays Ness sometimes when the Steve matchup isn't working. I want to say that, no, Poppet doesn't play anymore. So yeah, it's a slim pickings for this Ness. So you're really looking to get your own labbing done. I mean, this is a character that is very comfortable in that training mode, wants to get all those fancy magnet combos down and everything under control. You don't have anybody to just look to tell you exactly what to do at all times, especially against something like the Kazuya, where, I mean, you go for an unconscious aerial, you try to get a little bit too fancy, and you catch an electric wind god fist to the chest. That is not a happy day for you.
It's freestyling versus Ghost Riders, right? We all know the Kazuya Mishima combos. There's really a lot of, not much unexplored ground there in terms of how to maximize hits on that character, whereas Ness, like you mentioned, there's not really a path charted out for you. But right now, the path is going to be off stage. If you keep getting hit by those Wind Demon God Fists, you just got to be careful if you're Ness.
This does amount to about 88%, and unfortunately that PK Thunder does trade with the down air there from Kazuya. This is one of the big positives of this matchup. If he goes for those lasers, trying to play the distance, you can use that PK magnet. And oh my goodness, PK Flash from across the stage? Am I watching the same game as you, D-Lo?
Yeah, I don't know how. You gave them the $20 gift card already. I don't know how that move ever hits. But nonetheless, I think we already should give them one of the awards just for that achievement. Ooh, shield looking awfully low, but the baseball back uses the speed. Hey, fool me once, you fool me twice. Not gonna happen, kid. And quick dash attack and send him flying. Every single time these lasers come out, though, there's gonna be a side magnet waiting for it.
Wow, F-Smash there will get the job done from a little past center stage. I mean, this is a heavy hitter, and Kazuya very much on his home turf here at Final Destination. He will have to find a different approach option. You can see feeling out, trying to use the laser still, but just as very comfortable to just throw out that PK magnet, absorb that one away, which does take away one of the tools in your arsenal. It's going to be up to Robert to demonstrate that they're still capable of playing effectively even when they're down and forced to make adaptations.
Oh, I love how they use the PK Thunder, bobbing and weaving it so evasively so as to not make it easy to evade the trail and the head of that. Fortunately, the reflector coming in big there against the PK Fire. The leg drop goes right through the up smash too. What looked to be Ness's stock is now in mortal danger.
It's very much within reach of this Kazuya, but he's going to have to come back Halo platform first if he wants to do it. Justice has the stock lead, but these stocks can disappear very quickly when you're playing against Mr. Mishima. 10-hit combo doesn't get, oh my, tries to read the roll with the side B, and that would have been incredible. Gets the grab nonetheless, and this Ness is very much at kill percent.
Unfortunately, Ness been a bit scared out of shield. Could have answered back with something a bit bigger than the gentleman's jab, but instead just goes for what they know is safe and fast. Understandably so, but that might show that the panic against this character is starting to set in. I don't know how that side B doesn't find the mark, but you can call that a good grace as another laser hits him in the face.
Is off stage here, uses the PK Thunder to get back on. Side B won't crumble and roll behind the F smash, and another down throw into the laser. Hello, custom combos?
we need to see some grabs coming out here from the Nest, or you can just watch Kazuya float to their inevitable end. That also works, just like his father, being tossed off a cliff. And it seems that Nest is going to be following in their footsteps to lead that next Tekken franchise with an iron fist. Overall, great stuff there from Justice.
I think it was Kurt that Kazuya threw off the edge, right? Like, that's the guy that he... Yeah, I want to say that that's correct, but obviously, Kirby fans at home, don't worry. He floated away at the end. He's totally fine. You can still cheese people off stage by sucking them in and then carrying them off stage. You'll be totally good. But you know who else is totally good is our Nest player in this matchup. He looked very comfortable using that PK Magnet, as well as getting some very good value out of the PK Thunder when he was in the juggle situations, and even finding a use for the PK Flash in a matchup where usually that can be very dangerous. I mean, he used every tool in the arsenal to make that one happen.
I think it just came down to who was over-reading. Sometimes you try to read a bit above your grade level. Very simple to do. And hey, maybe we encourage that, you know, and at this day and age, you want to make sure literature rate is low in America. Let's try to boost that up, you know, so I respect that. However, if you're trying to get a bit too fancy, sometimes you stumble on your own feet. I think both Kazuya and the Nest had moments like that, but with Kazuya, who's a character who's a lot more read-dependent, that's going to cost you a bit more. Nest can play a bit more safe. They have the PK Fires. Once you're disadvantaged, we saw those PK Thunders come out. That doesn't really require much in the terms of reading, and that's why I think the Nest took it over to Kazuya.
Yeah, it's the difference between playing the neutral very effectively and having a very good advantage state, which is typically what people consider to be the case with Kazuya. He doesn't really have the best buttons for just scrapping up in your face. It's more, you can't afford to drop anything against him. He will use every opportunity to rack up 80+% on you. As we get back underway here, very different matchup here. Sword versus Sword, the Lucina going up against this Meta Knight.
That's interesting, and we got to see Zathan on the Meta Knight prior. Really, I don't believe they were on the stage prior, but just not bearing this Fire Emblem character. Instead, Dancing Blade is a bit of damage, but Dimensional Cape could answer right back. And see the Meta Knight trying to control the stage here with dash attack. Obviously a great combo starting option, but it's also, because of that, very predictable if you know the matchup.
Yeah, and Meta Knight getting very good usage out of this side B as well. I noticed that the last time that we got to see this competitor on the stage, getting very good damage and also stage control of it. I mean, look at this, pushing him all the way off the stage, forcing an edge guard situation, and the back air, the neutral air, even on that side of the stage, we'll get that one done.
Fantastic there. Would have liked to see them drop down with it. You can see they're trying to predict a high recovery. Willie drops down low at first, but does end up using that double jump and puts them in good range. So Zathan having a great read on that. Unfortunately, the read on the Dimensional Cape comes right afterwards. Will finds an easy stock after that upset.
Wow, that is terrifying stuff to just call out that option with the up smash. I mean, you want to talk about a way to punish somebody for taking some of these more aggressive options. I think that you're going to be thinking twice about that one next time that you plan to use that down B if you're Zathan. He is getting good mileage out of that tornado nonetheless, continuing to make use of these special moves, pushing around this Lucina, preventing him from really getting his feet set.
It's interesting that Zathan is kind of playing a retreating game since they have so many options that cover a lot of space, like that Dimensional Cape, like that Screw Attack, and it seems that that's how they prefer to play the game. They're setting the pace by forcing Lucina to approach them, or approaching with something that's just a moving hitbox, just like another Screw Attack.
And this is where your shield's your best friend if you're Willie. He's got to be willing to hold shield and punish some of these options that are not safe on shield, but you can see intent with those aerials instead, going hitbox to hitbox, and Zathan just getting the better end of that trade once more. F smash will do it from center stage.
What you called for is the exact right mojo, because that Screw Attack hitbox goes out so far in front of, I don't know if your F tilt or your F smash is going to catch it, even if it is on time, and that's a big if. You might as well not play with fire, or use a counter as well. That's an option if your shield's feeling a bit low, feeling a bit insecure, or if you're trying to land from the air, but they just cannot get there from the ground whatsoever. Another up smash.
Continuing to juggle this Lucina, not letting him touch the ground is right, especially once you get them in this offstage situation. Kalos is not a very forgiving place for a sword character to be offstage, and the jab almost gets it done Gimp style on the side of the stage. Dimensional Cape comes through again, not quite enough damage to do it, but the up smash is getting damn close.
You can see Zathan is laser locked in, focused. This man wants that $20 Steam gift card, and Willie's got a lot of work to do to try to catch up. Dimensional Cape in a flash is going to seal off that last stock. Zathan takes it with only dropping one.
Wow, impressive impressive stuff from Zathan there, and you will absolutely find situations where you're getting more mileage out of move than you typically anticipate, right? Like, there will be people who don't know the matchup as well, don't know what the perfect punish would be, so you can really abuse that, and Zathan did that fantastically here. I mean, if we have a situation where there's a lot more shield being held and you're punishing some of these unsafe options, then obviously you need to switch up the game plan. But if things are just working, D'Lo, why not just stick with it and keep laying on the punishment?
It's what I was actually talking about prior when we saw that Young Link play from Justice. It's the idea that you can optimize your character, but if something is working that's a bit more Mr. Cheese, Azia puts away the cheese and passes it off to Meta Knight instead as a gift, says, here's a whole wheel of brie, enjoy. And Meta Knight puts that to great use, and just continuously using those special moves to really put Lucina in a bind. Not only is it effective, it's frustrating to deal with. It's got to be. You're like, how do I get around this? The answer is what you laid out. It's going to be that shield. It's going to be that counter. Unfortunate we didn't see it this time, but hopefully the future will bear better fruit.
Learning experience here on the stage for these players, and that is the name of the game for these younger players. Getting all that experience, getting the matchup knowledge, just learning how to think on your feet. That is a very underrated skill in these fighting games, to just be able to make adaptations during the game. You would ideally not want to have to go between games and get a moment by yourself to really make those evaluations and take some good changes, but if it make all this during the game, get a new game plan, completely shift up the way. A lot of players at this level especially will be completely overwhelmed by that and find it very difficult to play against.
Adaptation, I think, is so pivotal, and it's, again, there's several things I think that separate these young bucks from being the grizzled veterans that you see taking regionals and majors, right? It's adaptation's a big part of it. Darwinian evolution, baby. I'm sure several kids are starting to learn about that in their science textbooks. I'll teach you about it right here. Adapt or go extinct. You need to evolve to survive and thrive. Captain Falcon versus Terry. This is an evolution I wasn't expecting, but one that is certainly welcome.
Man, you didn't think you'd be learning in addition to having fun, did you? But you absolutely get that here on this stream as we get underway between Danny and Xander. Captain Falcon, a very... Okay, I was gonna say hype character, D'Lo, because I love watching this guy play. People call Captain Falcon corny, and I just don't know if I can support that.
No. Well, one, corn's delicious. It's the top grain in America. You want to learn about something? Corn is it's the most purchased grain in America. So if someone calls you corny, it's a compliment. You say thank you very much. And also, this character is awesome. They got the Falcon Punch, got the Falcon Kick, but they also got the knee. Faster options that are lesser known. Falcon Kick coming in there. Sends the Terry into Go Meter. Terry's got some hype moves behind him as well. Better watch out for that Go Blast.
And here he comes, Buster Wolf coming roaring through there. Just whatever option was thrown out by Xander gets smothered by that Buster Wolf, which is absolutely going to get the job done. He's asking you if you're okay. You better have an answer ready for him, and it looks like the answer's going to be a grab and a throw off stage. Tries to go for the hug of love as well, but can't quite find it.
The answer's going to be a resounding no if you can't get that stock off quickly enough. One more Buster Wolf falls on top, and a good up air just to follow it up and add a bit more damage. Clearly showing they are capable both as a master of the ground and the skies. Danny recovers with a nice crack shoot, and F smash awaits them. But as the Captain Falcon at 130, you don't need to rely on such committal options to get the stock. You got to be careful. Preserve your own life, buddy.
Another grab and an F throw off the stage, and oh my goodness, the up tilt sends him to Hades there. You can see the mental damage dealt by that move. That is a very convincing hitbox on that one. And it sets him up for a situation where the stocks are evened out. It's still 130 on this Captain Falcon in an offstage situation. This is not where you want to be if you're Xander.
And you can tell that Danny's just biding their time, waiting to see an overcommittal option. The up smash there, going to be followed by a nice up air. Could have maybe gotten a bit more if they had fastball and landed, try to make the juggle happen a bit further. And F smash, going to steal out that second one. Captain Falcon playing with their last.
42% worth of extra credit here as well. Danny knows that they just need this last stock and looked very comfortable, by the way, with that go meter. I mean, you don't often get to see so many of those Buster Wolves thrown out, but he knew the input. He was absolutely ready for it. And a lot of that damage that went down on that second stock from Xander did come from some of those go meter moves. We'll have to see if Xander can put him away before he gets to that 100% mark, or if he's going to deal with the go moves again, but he might not even get the chance. I don't think he's making it back.
And indeed he's not. the Falcon Rising is just not going to be able to get them the lateral movement necessary to get back to stage. Those Burning Knuckles were just doing so much damage and honestly playing in a similar way to what we saw prior with the Meta Knight in terms of dashing in and out, bobbing and weaving, and closing the space with your special moves, particularly that Burning Knuckle. We didn't actually get to see, like, I don't think, a single power dunk, which is one of the best tools to just pack on simple damage in neutral. The fact that you were able to take that game so convincingly despite that is really impressive.
Yeah, a lot less jab power dunk and a lot more of those Burning Knuckles, as you said, and excuse me. And you really do see a lot more of this at this level, where it's less of the coordinated individual set play where you have, okay, I got my falling up air and now I'm going to do a nair into a side B to rack on 45%. You just take what damage you can get and you take the opportunities as they present themselves. If you can get just push somebody off stage, make them a... Sometimes that's all you really need.
Back on here, Little Mac up against Dark Samus, two characters with completely opposite motivations, and with all these platforms around, Samus won't have the hardest time trying to evade.
And you usually think of Little Mac as preferring a stage that doesn't have those platforms, but against a Samus, you really would love to have some additional mobility, so I don't think too disappointed for either one of these players. They've got something to bounce around on. Miria is using at least some of it here, trying to make sure that they can avoid some of those charge shots. He's already got the KO punch online. We already know Miria is very comfortable just throwing this one out, but he's got to avoid every single one of these projectiles, and the dash attack will take that one away.
That just feels rough. Landing with these counters already shows me that Miria is starting to feel a bit cornered, and that throw is going to put you even more so in that situation. Jolt Haymaker to get back to stage. This two ends just as soon as they land, and a charge shot's waiting for them. For taking already 50% guard Little Mac.
Yeah, this is a challenging matchup as well. I mean, we saw the Meta Knight matchup earlier. That didn't exactly look easy, but against something like this, there's so many projectiles for the Little Mac to have to go through, and it's going to come down to how comfortable are you playing dodgeball here, D-Lo, because there are a lot of wrenches, a lot of balls coming this way.
Duck, dive, and dodge, and also dodge again. Miria's so far not doing the worst job in following all 5 of the important Ds, but gotta dodge Ds as far as these missiles, and so far,
nice.
Not having the best time of it. Gotta have another shot waiting for you once you land. Charge shots, even uncharged, still doing a good job of disrupting the flow of combat here. And now we're right back in it with a simple KO punch. Easy empty hop over the projectile into a big hit.
Wow, that is one way to get your way back into this game, and the question is, do you have enough left in the tank to be able to get another one of those KO punches online? Gonna need a lot more hits, and the charge shot from downtown, the fadeaway, will do it there from center stage. That is a brutal option to get hit by, especially if you've got that KO punch and finally answered that stock back. Good use of that option, just covering so much space on that stage. And Lilat is unfortunately not going to be very favorable for you if you're getting hit by those side blast zones.
I was reading Xander's lips when they shot it, and they definitely said Kobe when it went down. So nice job there, honestly, really following down. And hey, the Lakers are on the come up right now, so not a bad time to emulate the Mamba themselves, get that mentality going. Okay. Miria really had an impressive game up against the Meta Knight, so what changed here? It really is simply the matchup, I think. The fact that you got to go up against someone who has the liberty to just not take the fight too whatsoever, and in fact kill you from so far away. They're playing Sniper Elite too. They're not even playing the same game as you, and that just immediately puts you on a worse foot. Banjo-Kazooie, potentially. That could be interesting, but no. Oh, Baron Bird back in action up against Mr. Cheese.
I mean, you say that as a joke. It really does feel like that when you're playing Little Mac against a projectile character. That's the same thing that people talk about when you're playing something without a good burst option against Min Min. It really doesn't feel like you're playing the same game. I mean, it's just a completely different game plan, completely different style that you're forced to adapt to. So credit where it's due. You won the Meta Knight matchup, the Samus one. Gonna need some more homework on that, but we've got the bird on screen.
And luckily the game plan here is pretty similar, at least between these two players. Side special. And already you can see 4 of those Wonder Wings dropping. Stocks are not high in the feather department, as now they have lost everything. Got to file for bankruptcy. And the Banjo now sits there confused, no longer attacking, does not know what other moves they have left.
He's like, alright, let me get my combo guide out. I know that there's something else I've gotten here. And I'm surprised, Dilo. I'm surprised that you're a feather enjoyer and not a golden banana enthusiast. That's typically what I call those.
I'm starting to just get around to eating bananas, honestly, so
Okay.
give me a month and then we'll
behind.
work around to it. Exactly,
Okay.
I'm behind the curve, but this Kazuya, ahead of it, laying down the curve. An innovator and excavator as Banjo-Kazooie going to be digging down 6 feet under for that first stock off the mark. 89 built up here on the Kazuya. That's a pretty heavy weight, so unless you start to find your feathers back, this Banjo's going to have a rough time.
Yeah, the pockets in that suit are lined with money, and it is not going to be enough money to make him heavy enough to live through that one. Wonder Wing comes through again. Golden Banana expended. There's another stock deleted by this Banjo.
This is why I don't like bananas. They just kill you. they just hurt a lot. They do,
hurt.
clearly, and they can hurt that shield too, but you got to press the advantage. If you're going to do all that shield damage, you got to keep it going. Maybe just really like seeing the animation because they're doing it whenever the Kazuya is not even around, but Jackson, nonetheless, having fun in the sun, and now got to try to get a bit more damage off. Wonder Wing interrupted, and already decent amount of damage tacked on, juggled in the sky, and of course, with that Wonder Wing being a lateral option, they don't have too many things to hit them with when they're below.
Little known fact that is actually looking into 100% of people who have eaten a will die at some point in their life. Very tragic stuff.
Why would you do
here.
that?
I just really didn't want unawares. I mean, if you're going to be going up just trying to contend with the Potassium Crusaders, then you got to be well informed. And you got to be well informed if you're the Banjo, because no more golden bananas to throw out that Wonder Wing here. Going to have to get the stock done in the default style. Which has been a bit of a struggle for them, but getting good mileage out of this up B and that downer to get back to the stage. And the question is, what's the kill option gonna be?
Yeah, that's pretty much other than give like a mild concussion to Kazuya. And I mean, look at those battle scars. I think Kazuya is going to be just fine with a small bruise, as their up B is going to be doing a lot. Demon Engine online, rev them up, because this Banjo's about to be toast if they find the command grab.
He's gonna instead get kicked in the chest, sent to that left side of the stage, trying to play around these platforms. And hang on a second, we might be going to time. He says no, thank you. Goes for the up B and immediately sends him to that top blast. So that would have been an interesting for that one to boil down. I mean, Kazuya, you have a Kazuya is going to time, but we almost got there in different rule set. A little bit shorter time, only 2 stocks on the board. Unfortunately for our Banjo Crusader, it is going to be Mr. Mishima that advances through that one.
That's unfair. You're nerfing Banjo. Now you only have 10 Wonder Wings instead of 15. How am I supposed to play under these conditions? Ridiculous. We're protesting. But unfortunately, the Banjo doesn't put an end of that. Maybe they're using all those. It was a sin. It was a protest. They're saying, all right, you're going to rhyme Wonder Wings? I won't use them at all. Just blows them all in the beginning. I like the game plan, honestly. What's the one issue is you just need to intersperse that with, you know, seasoning in there. You know, the peanut butter and whipped cream into the sandwich with the bananas on top, you know, as Elvis would.
They're women, but bananas.
I've never eaten. Just know that's what like some people do. It's whipped cream.
I like the Elvis Presley sandwich.
Yes, it is. Like peanut butter banana sandwiches. You never had one before?
I can't say I have. I mean, I have heard that bananas do kill you, so I've been steering clear.
That's understandable. Well, PSA. I mean, we're learning. We're also spreading some misinformation on the side. We're teaching people. We're teaching to make sure to cite their sources, which is, you know, also something.
There you go.
I'm sure very relevant here to these middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Wikipedia on this one, by the way.
There. Yeah, make sure to check tertiary sources and get that MLA cited and nice and lined up. So far, Donkey Kong on the scene now, our friend the Aegis, and this is the first time we've seen a super heavyweight on for today, so I'm curious to see how they do.
I am hoping that it's different than this, because unfortunately a forced error, we'll call it there, results in the early loss of a stock. But, you know, playing the DK, sometimes things can be very fast-paced. You get those stocks where you just absolutely blow up the opposition, and some stocks where, well, it's a little bit more challenging to make it back to the stage.
It's called a warning SD. It's like, the next one's going to be you, though. And like, it's just letting you know. It's
like, this is going to be you at some point, right?
Yeah, it's like when you punch yourself in the face before a fight, and you're like, yeah, like, ugh, let's get pumped. But Mythra doesn't really seem too intimidated by it quite just yet. At the same time, though, Donkey Kong doesn't seem too intimidated by it either. Has not really taken too much damage a lot of specials coming out here, especially the Kong Tornado, which great super armor on the ground. Unfortunately, not the best in the air. Okay, maybe the second one was a warning too. They just didn't know it was only 2 stocks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we'll say. And I mean, sometimes you're just throwing out options. You're so excited to get the damage out that you slip past the ledge. You fly too close to the sun, and it looks like that's what happened there for our Donkey Kong competitor. For what it's worth, man, he didn't take pretty much any damage at all. That's like a crazy hard matchup, and he only took like 40%. That is insane.
Man, crazy matchup to like take no percent and then still die post-stock like within a minute. That's a funny statistic. I respect that. It's a speed run there. But it nonetheless does go to show that if you can get your recoveries down as that player, you stand to be in a far more favorable position, because it's not like they weren't fighting. They weren't just immediately dropping off stage to their doom. No, they were taking part in the brouhaha, getting a bit of bare knuckle brawling going on, and then they obliged to do some cave diving, and they didn't come back from that, unfortunately. But nonetheless, if you're able to understand your recoveries of Donkey Kong, recognize the fact that you just don't have that much vertical movement on Kong Tornado, then you stand to be in a lot of a better position. So hopefully they're able to learn their ABCs, their 1, 2, 3s, and their recoveries.
Horizontal recovery. More of Donkey Kong's game, unfortunately not the vertical recovery that something like, I don't know, like a Mr. Game & Watch or like a Meta Knight. I'm just throwing those things out there, just the first 2 things that came to mind. Those are very good vertical recovery. Oh my goodness, look, a Mr. Game & Watch and a Meta Knight on the screen here.
I don't even call it a recovery. It's the best out-of-shield option in the game. Nothing else to me. The fact that it's a recovery is just gravy on top. But oh, the Niner kept me out there. Unfortunately, not going to find anyone quite just yet. Seems we got the Wonder Wing method going out. We're playing Russian roulette here, and we're playing with a loaded gun.
I am so scared if I'm this Meta Knight for all these judges that are coming out, and now the empty as well, just to mix things up. If you get caught by one of those knives, it's curtains, man. I mean, that is like, you just gotta walk off the stage at that point.
This is some hilarious methodology being applied here by Carter. I gotta respect it. Zathan, terrified. The 8-hammer finally hits the mark and finally gets a bit of percentage on the board here for the Game & Watch. And I'm curious to see that we're not having all those side specials come out that we saw against Lily's Lucina. Meta Knight may be feeling a bit more afraid of what happens at the end of the tunnel.
Or maybe this Game & Watch has just taken away all the B button moves and not allowing his opposition to use any of them. By the way, I'm pretty sure that it is statistically true that Mr. Game & Watch only using the Judgment Hammer is still a better character than Ganondorf.
Don't say that. Don't say that to me. Ganondorf is still effective if, like, the other person is, like, asleep and, like, also...
Or their controller disconnects or something.
Or has their little brother playing. Something like that. But nonetheless, yes, Game & Watch can still be very effective. But, hey, they're not using the up B, honestly, and that feels pretty good to not have to deal with that nonsense, especially for a character like Zathan's that wants to get up close and personal. But look at all these jumps. So floaty. Good dimensional cape to buy you a bit more damage on top, but landing in. Also using oil bucket. There's literally no projectiles Meta Knight has that can go into it, but just trying to ask for some donations, I guess.
And unfortunately, the hammer does not give you vertical recovery.
What?
So D-Lo, he cannot, there's nothing he could have done. Nothing could have been done differently there to make it back to the stage. Just playing truly a bad character. I mean, this just is not a good character.
Look at him, though. Oh, he's loved by the crowd. Look at that. He's hype. He's popping off despite the fact that he's got 2-0. I love this. Like, this is great competitive spirit. This is great sportsmanship. Yeah, there's some stakes on the line. There's 2 $20 gift cards for Steam. Don't forget, still something on the line there to try to fight for. But these are all friends. They're all part of the same high school, GOAL, Goal Online High School. And they all know each other. Swing set. Monkey bar days, seesaw, these kids are around the block. So they're making sure to recognize that, hey, we're trying to play here, but at the same time, we can have some fun.
And better yet, he's got childhood memories coming through, not just at the swing set, but also Pokemon Stadium 2, Battlefield. I mean, these are places that you those core memories developing, D-Lo.
Absolutely. You can't think of a better spot than, like, on top of a spaceship in the deep, dark vacuum of the endless void, like Light Cruise. Man, I gotta tell you, I got some fond memories there in the asphyxiating space of space where no one can hear you scream. But they can hear you play some Smash. Exactly. Let's see what we got up next for the mark. We've seen quite a large slew of characters so far, Kaizo, and there's still plenty more to boot that we haven't. I'm looking for a gosh darn Kirby.
And I'm looking at our camera feed here. It looks like, D-Lo, we might be swapping things up a bit. We've got 4 competitors on this stage all at the same... Are we playing doubles now?
We getting kooky out here. 2 stocks? Nah. 2 people. How about that? We're really innovating now.
Wow, it does look like we're going into teams. Question is, for me, especially when you get something like a Samus locked in, is team attack on or off? Yeah,
you gotta
that is
pray
going to be the crucial detail here if you're playing up against the left side of your screen. I mean, you don't want to have somebody just standing behind another player, just throwing out projectiles, but take a look and see what we've got.
Dude, so much of that stuff comes into nightmares. You were talking about fond memories, and now I'm thinking about all the nightmares I had on Smash Online. It is worth noting, though, we have the Green Jackets. I believe these are all middle schoolers stepping up against the high schoolers, so it's a bit of inter-scholar action here to prove who is the better Smash player. Not anymore about who answers arithmetic problems at a higher level. Don't care about algebra. I care about them hands. Put them up and show me what you got.
Run them hands, baby. That's all that we really care about here. And I don't know, maybe we'll do some arithmetic afterward if you want to stick around. We've got some algebra lessons going down in the back. But at least for the time being, D-Lo, we've got Smash Bros. On screen. We've got team attack. I'm waiting to see. Trying to figure it out. We will update you when we find out.
We'll be right back. Yeah, you really want that to be on, personally, because there's so many infinites, and there's so much ridiculousness that's unlocked when you have team attack off. Like you mentioned, with that Dark Samus on the stage, especially if you're Little Mac and Wolf, you are clasping your hands, your paws together, and you are praying. Game & Watch on the field here, too. The question is it the Game & Watch that only uses side B? No, an F-tilt. That's something different.
Wait, he has that? He can do that?
Yeah, ban him. That's why they paused. They're like, hold on, that's not allowed. Get him out. DQ.
Get the judge over here. Somebody get on this guy because he's doing stuff that comes in the next DLC. We haven't even seen this stuff yet.
Sakurai coming out with a patch to make Game & Watch an actual character.
Yeah, Sakurai actually walks out on stage and hands like a prototype Switch over.
Ah, the Switch 2 comes out right here and gold. That's the real prize. It's hidden. They just don't know it quite just yet. Seems like we're back in the action so far. It might just be a bit of a button check at the moment. Now we're playing a bit serious here. We can tell there's higher stakes here. We're trying to prove which schools got the better hands. And for that, we got to make sure that all of our buttons, all of our ducks are in a row. We're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. So it seems like we might have a quick game reset and we'll get back in short.
Good check there for these players and a good foray into this doubles format, which can be a very different beast than the singles. I mean, you got to think that same game, same characters, it can't be that much different. But D-Lo, this is a whole different beast on doubles. You mentioned the infinites that you can potentially do, trying to play around some of these grab combos when you can immobilize a target for your teammate to do a bunch of damage. I mean, there's so much communication, teamwork, so much that goes into these doubles games that you just don't get to play around with in the singles form.
And I believe we're actually even also nearing the end. So this just makes it like the most climactic point. It's the pinnacle of play here so far in our friendly knockouts evening. So this thing might just be what we have last to end it all. And I can't wait to see how we capstone off. It's a little cherry on top of that peanut butter, banana, and whipped cream sandwich. In terms of the combos that I saw, if we do stick by those characters, we do stick by that Dark Samus and the Game & Watch, because Team Attack's potentially on, you can fill your own teammate's bucket, and that's a pretty scary thing.
Ooh. Wait a second. Are we getting... Okay, I thought we were getting a little silly there. I'm all for doubles, D-Lo, but once we start getting into 5-man Smash, that gets a little complicated to watch.
That's an odd number. I don't like those. Like, even Stevens, please. No odd Todds. Wolf going to be up 2, but now the Simon steps up instead. Okay, interesting. This is going to be pretty frustrating to play against if you don't know how. I'm calling it how I see it.
That's a polite way to put it, for sure.
That is going to be a lot of projectiles to deal with. You've got to really be careful about Wolf using their reflector, because yes, you have a reflector. That feels great. However, it cannot become a crutch. Sometimes, even if you have the option to deflect something, the better option is to shield, to not condition yourself and your opponent to think that you're going to use that all the time. The reality is sometimes it's better to almost not have the tool at all, because it forces you to think more creatively about how to deal with it.
I think that I just heard an audible sigh, even from the broadcast booth, when the red team realized that they were playing against Dark Samus and Simon. I mean, this is not gonna be an easy matchup. You mentioned the reflector; that's gonna be a core component alongside this bucket, which can, by the way, for some reason, now reflect projectiles as of one of the recent patches only a couple of years ago at this point, D'Lo. So still very new to this game, but is capable of absorbing the energy projectiles and reflecting the ones that are not. So definitely armed with some tools required for this matchup.
Seems they heard us audibly sigh, because Simon actually turns out to be on the Wolf's side instead. No longer hunting demons and vampires, instead hunting 2D paper mache kind of little dudes. So that's, you know, a bit of a downgrade in terms of the job description for Simon Belmont. But, you know, in this economy, whatever job that pays the bills.
Yeah, sometimes it's just you gotta cash in those checks, baby. And it does look like Team Attack is gonna be off, so projectiles willy-nilly in this game.
Side piece too!
Immediately goes off. His people need him over there, and he's gonna go find him.
He said, Team Attack's off, I'm out. There's no way I'm dealing with this. You gotta be careful with that Wolf Flash. It will get you in a bind. Another stock goes, and Simon's down two. We're down to one left, and already this is looking pretty rough for Red.
I think that this is finally an even match in the Andy step. Wow, what a truly explosive conclusion to that game, D'Lo. That just truly came out of nowhere. I mean, this is what you get when you're playing against an S-tier doubles competition like this Dark Samus Game & Watch.
That was awesome. That was so good, actually. Okay, I mean, if you want us to break it down analytically, you can't side B like that. You cannot. You cannot do that. You will die. You go into free fall. You are in burnout right afterwards. But man, that was hilarious. And the Simon, unfortunately, is a few off time and like air dodges off stage. That match had everything you could ask for if you were asking for his SDs.
Yeah, that was like a Roman comedy where just something doesn't go right and then everything really spirals down from there. It's like a Smash Bros equivalent of like a Sandler movie is basically what we just got to watch.
And it's a great way to cap this off. I'm not quite sure who actually ends up getting the prizing for today if it's decided based on the match win-ups overall or who had the most fun, which would be a prize that should go to everyone because it seemed like everyone was enjoying themselves here. But that being said, that is about all we are going to have for you here today on the GOAL Online High School Knockout Friendlies, all for those delicious Steam gift cards. Don't eat them though, please. Fun to play and not to eat. I've been D'Lo. Joined here, my friend Kaizo in the booth. We've had Ben, our almighty eye in the sky. Please thank our production for all he does for us. We could not yell at games without him. And last, but certainly not least, thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you've enjoyed these sets just as much as we have. Keep an eye to the sky for more LANFest content in the future. With that, good games and good night.
they want to... Thank you. Some people want to try to get out in 30 minutes or 40 minutes because there's another session right after this one. I want to go to it too. Okay. So I was like, okay, we will attempt to...
Okay, so wrap it up quick.
40-ish minutes if we can do.
The video that I'm going to have them play is like 3 minutes long. Okay. If that's okay?
Yeah.
It's the Kentucky, the girls who game Kentucky thing.
That's a great video. All right, I'm going to keep us honest here. Hello, hello. I hate being all the way up here because I feel like I want to be down there. Like, we should just put the table down there. I might have to move. I don't know. I feel uncomfortable up here. Test, test. No. Test, test. Well, it's definitely not amplifying.